everybody, welcome back. Movie review time, where we geek out about a movie we just saw, and we just saw Mulan. It's a dumb joke I made to her.
I'm surprised you didn't say Moulin Rouge, but yeah.
Well, yeah, there's also Mulan. Reminds me about when we do spoilers. We're supposed to give fake spoilers. We're so out of practice, we forgot to do that. Speaking of which, this is a no spoiler review. We're not going to spoil anything in the movie. And some of you are like, but it's a remake. Well, apparently, as we'll get to, it's not the same movie, so there can be spoilers. We're not going to talk spoilers at all. If we say a spoiler, we'll cut it out. You're totally fine. But there will also be a spoiler review where we talk freely about all the details. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out too. This is just going to be our general thoughts and opinions on it. And if you like these kind of reviews, you want to help us out, you want to buy snacks for Mary, toys for the cats, you want to get Mary a proper chair to sit in so she doesn't look a foot shorter than she actually is.
I'm in a folding chair.
Yeah, you can check out our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. We do video game Let's Plays, movie reviews. We're starting to do food and tasting videos and things over there. All that for $1
We should actually switch chairs.
No pressure.
You're all torso.
Maybe.
Might even
next time if we remember, because it's not like one of us has a sensitive tuchus and likes the comfort of. So buy her a chair. Anyways, Patreon, TheEricButts. Use the links in the description below. We don't have to give a warning because we did all that. Again, this is our second movie review since all the shutdown, so kind of trying to remember the whole spiel, honestly. And I'm like 2/3 of a bottle of wine in because I made spaghetti and it's delicious. So Mulan. Oh, the other thing before we get into this is I've never seen the original. I don't really know much other than the general premise of the original.
I've seen the original a few times. It's been a while since I've seen it though.
It's been a while.
But I remember a fair chunk of the soundtrack though.
Yes, she does. Which I don't know. Is the soundtrack performance and credit song? Is that? I'll tell you what, here, because this is not a spoiler to say it this way, and even I don't even think saying who is a spoiler, but same artist for the modern and original, even though they're new recordings. So
yeah,
there you go. That's not okay. That said, though, I just wanted to bring that up just so you knew. Of course, we did do it on the Disney Plus Premium, which we're not going to get into that. We're just going to geek out about the movie or whatnot, talk about the movie, because yeah, we all have opinions about how that's done, but we wanted to see this, so. So I guess my general thoughts are I did very much enjoy it. I didn't love it. I didn't have a lot of expectations for it. The trailers, I knew I was going to like it more than I would have originally thought as a live-action Disney thing. But most of these live-action Disney things I'm seeing as the live-action before the animated anyways. So you're kind of getting that perspective from me. And I think my biggest complaint, like just if I had to sum up my general feelings about this, is I do really like that they tried to do something somewhat not Disney with it. But I don't think they went far enough from that. I think they were still constrained with trying to appease it being a Disney live-action film. And it's like either I feel they should have gone more full Disney with it, or they really should have gone more full, like, let's do a more, like, true kind of warrior film kind of thing. And I think the blending, while done as well as it can in the context of this, I don't think it really worked in the sense that, I mean, I enjoyed it, but had they really gone for it, I could have loved it.
I see what you're saying, and I think I kind of agree. Because you told me that a lot of people are not liking it.
I mean, again, I haven't watched anybody's reviews or whatnot. I'm just seeing thumbnails. I'm seeing like a couple of tweets here or there, like, oh, it's awful. But I've seen a couple people like, I really enjoy it. So,
because I think if you're a diehard fan of the original and you're hoping for like a Beauty and the Beast more or Lion King
like shot for shot
sort of deal, you're not gonna like that.
Yeah, no. And again, I think that's kind of playing into what I was saying too. You know, it's like I appreciate that they aren't doing the thing that everybody gave them gripe over before, but if you're not going to do it, go further with it.
To a certain degree, it is more or less the same plot. It's just the way they go about doing it. It's very different.
Okay, and again, we'll talk a lot of that kind of stuff in spoilers, the more specifics of it.
But I honestly, I think I enjoyed it. I think.
Again, that's the thing.
But that's just it. It's just gone like there's some things I did miss from not having in the original.
I got you.
But I'm not sure that was enough to say that this was terrible or anything.
Right, and I don't. I think anybody saying it's terrible just hasn't seen enough movies because.
Yeah, it's. Like I said, I like that they went the whole sort of What's the genre? I can't think of it. Not Bollywood. You were calling it Bollywood.
No, I did not call it Bollywood.
You totally called it Bollywood.
I said they went more Bollywood-like than I expected in the disregard for physics.
How did Bollywood come out of your mouth at all?
I can't talk about it here. There was a shot early in one of the things that reminded me of
previews.
That in this context, in this moment, reminded me of a specific thing from a famous, ridiculously awesome Bollywood moment. It reminded me of that, and then I knew they were kind of running on walls and stuff, so I'm like, wait a minute, how ridiculous? Are we going full Bollywood ridiculous? We don't care about physics as long as it looks cool?
It's classic Hong Kong wire work.
The intent may have been classic Hong Kong wire work, but it didn't land as good as it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it felt more CG than wire work or something, and that gave me. I can't get too specific about it. The point being, I didn't actually outright call it Bollywood. I'm just making.
I don't know how the word Bollywood came out of your mouth
trying to explain.
At all. That's
what I was trying to explain. God, wow, derailer. Welcome back. No, that was about the movie though. But again, that's something we can hash out a little bit more in spoilers if you want. But I think it was a beautiful film. I should definitely say that. We have a nice 4K setup here and everything, and you could tell the 4K, the resolution was spectacular. The colors were spectacular. Some of the effects,
some of the CG.
Well, I was gonna say, you thinking backgrounds? Because
no, I'm thinking the bird.
Okay, I can go with that. Okay, yeah, that's fair. My issue was more distraction with some of the backgrounds, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, it's bad green screen, but I'm pretty sure it's that new LED rear projection system, and some of them, it didn't feel quite natural.
That spot with the smoke where I'm like...
Well, yeah, you had that issue. That spot didn't bother me, but there's a couple where it's like gorgeous sunset vistas behind them, and it's like, it doesn't quite feel as integrated.
I didn't notice
but
that.
But again, it doesn't take me out of it. I was just saying that's one of my minor
how much
gripes.
of it might be that? How much of the fact that it was a 3D conversion?
Well, we're pretty sure. She feels like the movie was meant to be seen in 3D original. I can't remember, but we did notice in the credits it said 3D conversion, and I'm pretty sure that means when they're doing it just to the 3D, although it wasn't any of the big 3D houses, so I don't know if it was an effects thing. But I mean, it is possible that's a big part of it, yeah. But I also just think the rear screen projection setups didn't quite, they looked slightly, maybe it wasn't even the rear screen projection that was the issue or the characters that was the issue, more it was like the terrain they were on didn't feel as realistic as the other things did or something. There was an element that didn't quite click for me in some of those scenes.
Yeah.
And almost, I guess, did mildly take me out just a little bit. But I think the lead actress was fine. I know people were upset there's no songs. That didn't bother me. Clearly, songs wouldn't have really worked.
There's a couple of songs that people really love from this movie. Okay. From the original movie, I should say.
And I hope that's not a spoiler. That's common knowledge. And if not, it's something you should probably just be forewarned about. That,
Yeah.
Because I knew going in it wasn't going to have songs and stuff. So, which is fine. It doesn't really fit. I think all the characters, though, you don't really get their names a lot.
Yeah,
we're having trouble with names. We'd have to be like, so the guy who, and the guy who, and the guy who.
And a couple of them
and Cricket.
And Cricket. Yeah, I was just like, oh, it's Cricket.
Yeah.
The rest of you, once. And you're like, okay, I didn't catch that.
But I know the character. And then, of course, it's always wonderful. I lit up, and the movie really picked up for me when we get to Wukong himself. Or I should say, Chirrut Inouye himself, Mr. Donnie Yen, who is always fantastic to see. And if we had more time tonight, I'm like, can we go watch Ip Man? We need to start that series. But
is that before or after we watch The Boys?
Right, and the original Mulan. So much stuff to watch.
Yeah.
But he's great in it. I think the action stuff is really good. I thought a lot of the fight choreography, the battles, all that stuff was really fun. And I think there's some really cool stuff going on there.
Yeah, I saw a few things that I hadn't seen before.
I don't know how I feel about the camera choice in some of those battles to constantly flip 90 degrees. I don't know how I feel about it. I might like that as a stylistic choice, but then at the same time, it's one of those things, there's not enough stylistic choice throughout of it. So much of it feels kind of, and not in a bad way, but common filmmaking, just kind of straight by the numbers, the way you cut. But then you get into that, and there's this one particular flourish that he uses sometimes. So I'm like, maybe that's my issue with it, is I needed a few flourishes for it really to feel like there was a style going on versus just one trick that's used a few times. I didn't hate it, but I'm realizing my thoughts as I'm saying them.
It sounds like this movie isn't as cool as I thought it was going to be. Let me do a camera flip, and now suddenly it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit, yeah. Kind of. But I did care about like our core group of soldier characters. I did really like them. They were charming. Although, and no spoilers, and you'll know if you have seen it what we're talking about. There is one moment when both of us literally kind of out loud went, "When did he get so badass?" like we weren't even doing iterations of that. The same phrase came out of our mouths, which was pretty funny. But it was pretty cool. So it's like, well, all right, we'll let that happen. But then unfortunately, it's like it's just one moment. So it's like, oh. Okay, all right, and nobody else really gets their cool moment, so okay.
I like that. We also had the other moment where we both went, wait a minute, he's a badass?
That's true. Oh, yeah. No, now I'm remembering that as well, yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it took me a second. I was thinking of something else. I was trying to figure out, it's like, is she talking? No, yeah. But yeah, that was kind of cool, too. The bad guy is perfectly bad guy. The other bad guy is obviously gonna have the story arc they're gonna have.
And the villains are actually much more fleshed out in this version than the original.
But again, I think everything in here is totally predictable. Now, some of that is it's a Disney story. They don't really push boundaries in their storytelling typically, especially of the older eras. Some of that is just going to be, we are telling a story that was told a long time ago, so maybe a lot of things I've seen have borrowed from it, and I've gotten used to those elements.
I just realized talking spoilers with you is going to be really difficult.
Maybe, because I'll be like, don't spoil the original.
Exactly.
I might lax my thing for that. We'll talk about that in spoilers. we're going to be on that. I'm trying to think what else we want to tell them about the general thoughts and consensus of the film.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Do you want to drop $30 on it? I think that's what a lot of people are wanting answered in this video.
Yes and no. That is one question we can answer, but I would also hope that this review, because I mean, I watch reviews for movies years after they've come out. Like if I see it years after it came out on video, I want to go watch people's reviews. So there might be people in years. So it really is more what we think about the film. But as an aside at the end, sure.
Or if you're like me and you're like, oh, I've seen the movie now, I don't really care what the reviewers say.
Right. And again,
because a lot of times I go to reviewers to find out whether or not I want to invest the time in the movie.
And that's where we're different because, I love cinema and the art of cinema and everything. So I'm like, if I got the time, I'm going to watch the movie. So I generally stay away from knowing anything. I like to just go in with completely my own opinions as best I can, which is why I try to get to as early to release as I can to watch these things.
But anyways.
But yeah, okay. But actually, I was going to say this and we'll do that review because you're right. I've always thought if I did have a review system, and I guess if I was ever guilty of having a review system, like a ratings, it is like wait for cable, rent or buy the Blu-ray or go to the theater. So, okay, it's fair to ask that question. Is it worth the $30 and the Disney Plus subscription?
Again,
if you're family 4, your kids want to see it. Yeah.
Plus, if you have kids, Disney Plus. I'm surprised you don't have it already.
And I think we both agree, Disney Plus, at least for people like us, yeah.
Mandalorian.
Well, yeah. But also, I'm digging the hell out of Muppets Now. We've definitely used it to watch some Disney stuff here and there.
Muppets Now is on HBO.
It might also be on HBO, but we watch it on Disney Plus.
Are we?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Aw.
Yes. You're making me doubt myself, but yes. But I do think you're right. I think there was like a cross promotional. Yeah, because I'm not doing that on HBO. Yeah, we're definitely because I don't have the HBO. We haven't logged into any of our HBO apps.
Okay.
So yes, Muppets Plus. Plus, the
Muppets Plus,
Clone Wars, all the Star Wars movies, the Star Wars behind the scenes specials.
Okay, but you're getting all Star Wars crap.
That was the joke. Marvel, all the Marvel stuff, the impending Marvel shows that are going to be great. If we ever get them.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm still waiting on those.
Now I'm totally derailed. I think 2020, they're just like, nope, no Marvel in 2020. Y'all enjoy the video game. But to go back to what you're saying, okay, I think Disney Plus totally worth it. It's because it's not $20, so I'm like it's like $6 or something. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah, but then there's the $30 on top of it to watch the movie.
Yeah, okay, I'll say mine. You can say yours because I just that's how I roll. I can't stop talking. I think it's backwards to what it should be. I think it should be $30 anywhere, but if you have a Disney Plus subscription, maybe you get it for $20 or something.
Yeah.
Now, also keep in mind the difference here is this is not $30 for a 48-hour rental. because that would definitely be ridiculous. This is $30, and as long as you're subscribed to Disney Plus, you have the movie already.
Yeah.
And again, I know a lot of people are like, it costs $20 to buy it on Blu-ray, I'll wait. It's like, well, yeah, but you can't buy the Blu-ray when it's in theaters, so.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, and again, I like to get to something as early as possible to form my own opinions.
Here's
the... Oh, here we go. My version is zipping my lip.
Here's the thing. If you are a diehard fan and you don't want to, for some reason, buy the Disney Plus and spend the $30, I'd wait. If you are going like, hey, the previews look cool, I understand that this is not going to be the exact same thing as the original. And you go, and you're again interested in Disney Plus, which if you actually use it, you will get your money's worth.
There's a lot of good stuff on there. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And like I said, and especially if it's more than one person watching it, because like if it was just me and $30, I'd be like, oh hell no.
Yeah, I could easily say no to that.
But but if it's me and there's some friends chipping in, then hey, have a party.
Right. Or if you have kids that are going to rewatch it.
Right
well, I mean, if you socially distant, all that, you wear a mask, whatnot, you can have like at least 10 people, something like that.
Yeah.
But again, or if you have a big family with kids that are just going to watch whatever and over and over again.
Yeah, in which case, a night out at the movies is going to cost you more than $30 anyway.
Yeah, the two of us going to the movies in general, like an opening night or whatever, that's at least going to be like $30. So, I don't like spending that much money but it is kind of nice to be at home where I can just have my bottle of wine in the room with me. We don't have to pause if I want to. Yeah, and again, I never really gave my thoughts in that regard, but I'm going to say, as somebody who just kind of was in that class of, the trailers look pretty good, I wouldn't mind. I don't know that I would recommend it at this price. I would say it's a worthy Blu-ray buy, but again, I'm coming out as a movie collector. That would totally, just like to have it in this collection. There's probably a sweet steelbook.
Wait for that.
So yeah, but I think for the average person, you're going to want to wait for like the $20 rental or something like that. And again, this to me, it was never a property that was like Bill and Ted, where it's like $25, I own it. Psh, yes, you could have charged me $40, and then I still wouldn't have been disappointed. But this, so you can keep in mind too where my excitement for the film level was.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I definitely miss some elements from the original, but I'm not holding that against this movie because I do appreciate that they tried to make it its own thing, and I do like some of the new additions to it. So
okay. And I think the lead was great too. I bought her as that character. I bought in.
Yep.
Okay. You got anything else? I think that's pretty good for no spoilers. All right, well, tell us what you thought. Again, careful for spoilers in the comments. People sometimes just get excited. They're not even trying to be a jerk or anything, so they might accidentally spoil something. Just be careful if you don't want spoilers. But if you are going to comment and you don't mind, throw spoiler right before your comment. Just, that way people know what you're talking about. They know to avoid it. But let us know. How do you feel about it? What do you think about the pricing situation? All that kind of stuff. And we look forward to hearing what you have to say. Look out for that spoiler video coming up shortly after this one or next day or something like that. And depends on when you see this. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button. Give us that good old thumb of encouragement, as we do love to be encouraged if you want to. Check out the Patreon. Get her so we look more like, well, no. Get a chair, basically. And a bunch of stuff. This house is expensive. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have spent $30 on Mulan. That's all right. I got duplicate Blu-rays to sell. So hit that Patreon. TheEricButts. Links in the description below. And don't feel bad if you can't. Seriously, it's all fine. I just like messing with y'all with some realism. That's it. I guess we're going to get out of here so we can go talk some spoilers and watch some more movies and all that stuff. We'll see you all later.